at you, and everyone's so excited to meet you. Um, is there anything that you like? Are there normal people things that you used to do that you can no longer do because you're so popular now?
The Glorietta Activity Center in Makati City had never seen anything like it. Hundreds of fans packed the venue, crowded the glass railings on every floor of the mall, and waited for hours just to catch a glimpse of the 21-year-old tennis sensation. Some arrived as early as 9 a.m. for a chance to see her up close. Others traveled from neighboring provinces, bringing homemade signs and artwork to express their love. When Alex Eala finally stepped out from the stage, the eruption was deafening. She could only marvel at the turnout, quipping, dami, niyo, and then the octogenarian stepped forward. Dusty Mallillin, 80 years old, had made the journey from Antipolo City to Manila, arriving at the venue by 10 a.m. He waited patiently for hours, holding a tennis racket in his hands, hoping to personally hand it to the young woman who had made the entire nation proud. But the tears were not just from the fans. The homecoming that broke the internet, the Glorietta Activity Center, had never seen anything like it. The venue buzzed with an electric energy that could only come from a nation celebrating one of its own. Thousands of Filipinos had gathered, not just from Manila but from provinces across the country. They had come to see the girl who had conquered center court, who had defeated the defending Wimbledon champion, who had made history by becoming the first Filipino to reach the fourth round of a Grand Slam singles tournament in the Open era. The event, organized by her longtime sponsor Globe, featured an onstage conversation, storytelling sessions, meet and greet opportunities, and interactive games that brought fans closer to the woman who had made them proud. But for many, the most powerful moments happened in the quiet spaces, the tears, the embraces, the promises whispered between strangers united by pride. When Eala stepped onto the stage, the crowd erupted. She stood before them with humility, her voice thick with emotion. Maraming salamat sa pagpupuya. Maraming salamat sa pagdarasal, she told the crowd. I'm doing my best to make you guys proud. Sinasubaybayan niyo ko in my next matches and my journey to come. The words hung in the air, a promise from a daughter to a nation that had never stopped believing in her. Eala had been in Manila for just 2 days, having arrived on July 12 to a hero's welcome at NIE Terminal 3. Her schedule was packed, a courtesy call to President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. at Malacanang Palace on July 13, a media conference on July 14, and now this fan meet on July 15. It was the final stop before she departed for the United States to begin her North American hardcourt swing. The fans who traveled the world beyond the roaring crowds and the flashing cameras, there were moments that would stay with Eala long after she left the stage. Moments that captured the heart of what it means to be Filipino. At 78 years old, Lola Jessie arrived clutching a thick photo album dedicated entirely to Eala. The album was filled with printouts spanning from her Les Petits days all the way to her recent Wimbledon run. Gabi gabi nagdadagdag kami, she said of the collection she builds night by night. Yung mga bakante dito hindi ko naidikit kanina, she added, pointing to the empty spaces waiting for future victories. For Lola Jessie, this was not just a fan meet, it was a pilgrimage. A grandfather from London was there in a wheelchair, his face filled with disbelief at finally seeing the Filipina sensation in person. I cannot believe that I would be able to see her, he said. He had traveled thousands of miles, crossing oceans and continents, just for this moment. Nicole, 25, traveled all the way from Naga City with her parents just for the event. She had one message for the tennis star. Alex, magkita tayo sa Naga. It was a simple request, but it carried the weight of a province that had rallied behind their champion. Digital artist Raul Panizares waited 8 hours to have his artwork signed by Eala. Worth it ang 8 hours. Sulit ang pagod. Alas dos nakapila nako nagbabakasakali lang. Alex is very humble and simple, he said. He had poured his heart into his art, and in that moment his dedication was rewarded. Senior citizen couple Bobby and Marian Reyes, tennis fans since the 1980s, had camped outside the event area as early as 9 a.m., making the trip from Muntinlupa. They brought snacks so they wouldn't have to leave their spot, and brought an AI-generated image of Eala as Supergirl based on her iconic dive during her Wimbledon victory over Iga Swiatek. I got to hold her hand, and we were able to tell her that we love her, said Marianne. Did you know we were already here by 9 a.m.? It was all worth it. We got hungry from waiting, but it was worth it because I got to hold her hand. We're just so proud of her. She's an inspiration for kids to get involved in sports, said Bobby. Because of Alex, we've become even bigger fans of the sport. The event showcased a more personal side of Eala, as she shared stories from her journey, played games with fans, signed autographs, and interacted with supporters who had queued for hours. Globe President and CEO Carl Cruz described Eala as a symbol of Filipino excellence and perseverance. For Globe, Alex Eala embodies Filipino world-class talent, inspiring grit and hard work, telling the world that Filipinos have what it takes to compete and win, Cruz said. The movement Eala created, the fan meet at Glorietta Activity Center, was more than just a celebration. It was a testament to something bigger, a movement that had captured the imagination of an entire nation. Andy Roddick, the former U.S. Open champion, had recently described the Eala Mania phenomenon as something unprecedented. I don't want to hear any of that be like, I don't care, stop talking. No, this is a movement she is single-handedly creating, Roddick said. His words echoed what millions of Filipinos already knew. Alex Eala was not just a tennis player, she was a symbol of what was possible. The Eala effect is not just a marketing term. It is a cultural shift. She is now part of the lineage of Manny Pacquiao, who once united the country through boxing. Like Pacquiao, Eala has become a source of hope and pride for a nation that has long yearned for heroes. Her victory over Swiatek had an impact beyond sports, uniting a country often divided by politics and social challenges. Katie Dyson, Globe's chief marketing officer, captured the moment's significance perfectly. When Alex stepped onto that court, she wasn't just swinging her racket. She carried the hopes, the grit, and the indomitable spirit of the entire Filipino people. I think it's a good thing because it introduces Filipinos to a new sport, said Kuya Barang, a familiar presence at games involving Gilas Pilipinas and other national teams. It shows that there are other sports where we can also bring honor to the country, aside from the usual basketball, football, and other sports we're known for. Thank you, Alex. For Eala, the event was a reminder of why she plays. Maraming sa pagpupuyat. Maraming sa pagdarasal, she told the crowd. I'm doing my best to make you guys proud. Sana subaybayan niyo ko in my next matches and my journey to come. Her words carried the weight of someone who understood that her journey was not just her own. She was carrying a nation with her. The young dreamers who see themselves in Eala, the senior citizens had come to pay their respects. The overseas Filipino workers had traveled from around the world to show their support. But it was the young dreamers who would carry Eala's legacy forward. Arabella Centenera Santos was just 7 years old. She had arrived at the fan meet with her mother Tricia, her eyes wide with wonder, her heart filled with dreams. Santos was in her ruffled socks, light-up shoes, chubby cheeks phase of chasing her own tennis dreams, fueled by inspiration from her idol. The same phrase that Eala had used in her emotional center court speech had now become the story of a new generation. I told her that I play 5 times a week and I am working really hard to be like her, Santos said. When the young girl finally met Eala, her words were simple but powerful. I want to be like you when I grow up. Eala, kneeling down to meet the 7-year-old at eye level, asked gently, will that make you happy? I said it does make me happy, Santos replied. And Eala told the young girl to pursue whatever you want that makes you happy. The exchange, brief but profound, captured everything Eala had become for the Philippines. She was not just a champion. She was a dream maker. She was the proof that a little girl with ruffled socks could one day conquer center court. 12-year-old aspiring tennis player Danley Kadai of Quezon City also got the chance to meet her idol. It feels amazing to meet the first Filipino to reach the 4th round of Wimbledon. It's really a starstruck feeling for me, Kadai said. She inspires me because of her confidence in the court and her attitude. In the future, I want to be like her. When asked about her favorite moment, Kadai said it was watching Eala upset Swiatek at Wimbledon. She admired the Filipino star's composure under pressure, the same composure that had carried Eala through the biggest matches of her career. At just 11 years old, Tiago Macahilig sat through the entire event, awed by Eala's presence and feeling happy to be there. He watched as Eala gamely posed for photos and took time to sign autographs for fans who had no access to the VIP section. For Macahilig, the moment was a glimpse into a future he could one day experience for himself, because Eala had shown him that dreams from the Philippines were not impossible. Another young fan, 6-year-old Facebook influencer Little Miss Forehand, had chronicled her own tennis journey, sharing videos of her training and documenting trips to tournaments, including the Berlin Open in Germany. During Eala's fan meet, she asked the tennis star about her favorite Filipino dish. Eala's answer? Caldereta. It was another reminder that Eala's growing impact now extends far beyond the tennis court, a legacy of love that will echo through generations. The final chapter of this story is not about the trophies or the celebrations. It is about what Eala's homecoming represents for a nation that has finally found its hero. At Malacañang Palace on July 13th, Eala's words had carried the weight of a nation's pride. Lubos kong ipinagmamalaki ang pagiging Pilipino, she declared. I carry the flag with me wherever I go, and I'm a firm believer that where you come from is a big part of who you are. I promise that I will continue to represent the Philippines in the best way that I possibly can. She also spoke of the recognition she had received. I feel very seen. And hearing that come from you, I feel like all the hard work that I have done is seen. All the hours that aren't on TV are seen and validated and appreciated. She ended with words that brought the room to its feet. I cannot begin to describe how overjoyed I am to see how my progress has been received by the Filipino people. And it warms my heart because I know that it comes from a profound and shared love for our nation. Sabihin nga nating tagumpay nating lahat. Now at the fan meet, she had told the crowd, Maraming salamat sa pagpupuyat, maraming salamat sa pagdarasal. I'm doing my best to make you guys proud. Sana subaybayan niyo ko in my next matches and my journey to come. She knew that her journey was not just her own. As she had told the president, I'm grateful for the opportunity to inspire and elevate Filipino talent on the global stage. As Eala prepared to fly to the United States for the Washington Open starting on July 27, 2026, she carried with her the love and support of an entire nation. The hours of waiting, the long journeys, the heat and the crowds, it had all been worth it for the fans who had come to see their hero. The young dreamers, the senior citizens, the overseas Filipino workers who had traveled from around the world. They had all come with one message. Alex Eala had given them something priceless. She had given them hope. She had given them pride. She had shown them that a girl from the Philippines could conquer the world. For a nation of 110 million people, Eala had become more than a tennis player. She had become a symbol of possibility, a reminder that dreams, no matter how impossible they seem, are worth chasing. A testament to the power of hard work, sacrifice, and the unshakable belief that a Filipina could stand among the best in the world. And as she walked off the stage at the Glorietta Activity Center, carrying the love of a nation with her, Alex Eala knew that she was not just playing for herself. She was playing for every Filipino who had ever dreamed of something bigger. And that made all the difference.